And it takes a lot of balls to play golf like me. Yeehaw!
Well, there you go. There's an apropos open. Welcome to Auto Smart. So glad to have you aboard. It is Austin. It is Boots. It is Randy. Glad to have you on the network. And we are joined now by the one and only Robbie Steen with Plum Quick Motors. Robbie, how are you today?
Doing fine. How about you?
Good. Now, what town are you in?
I'm in Fort Mill, South Carolina, about 30 miles south of Charlotte, North Carolina.
All right. And you know why we called you, right?
I got a good guess.
Yeah, we understand that you have the world's fastest golf buggy. Now, is that the same thing as a golf cart, by the way?
Well, some people call them buggies. Most people call them just a golf cart.
Okay. And this machine, this beast, this animal reaches what speed?
Well, our last record attempt, which was October the 31st, we reached 118.76 miles per hour, 12.2 seconds in the quarter mile at Darlington Dragway, South Carolina.
All right, I got to ask a technical question here.
All right.
I know I'm going to say you have screws loose because I do the same thing. So you can pick.
Yeah, I've been
Okay.
called that many times.
All right, I'm the same way because I actually would like to go 120 mile an hour on a golf cart
On a golf course.
On a golf course, hitting the green. But no, what I'm saying is, I understand you can build the horsepower and the power, but what about the tire balance? Because I've had a few golf carts that I've messed around with.
Right.
And it seems like you get around 20 mile an hour, and things start shimmying and shaking. How do you make sure the cart's not going to come apart at 100 mile an hour?
Well, first off, for the Guinness World Record, it has to be a golf cart.
Right.
So, basically, what we do is take a standard golf cart straight off the golf course. It's got all golf cart running suspension. It has golf cart tires, plastic hubcaps, a set of clubs, bench seat. If it wasn't for the decal on the side, people wouldn't know it from a standard Club Car DS model
All right.
golf cart. But basically, when we build it up, I make sure that everything fits proper. I snug everything up with closer tolerances, so you try to get away from the high-speed shimmy and stuff. Of course, you still get some of that. But yeah, this golf cart is 90% stock, other than the battery pack, controller, and the particular motor that's on it. Everything else is a standard golf cart.
So the driver's got to be a little, I guess, adventurous?
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is, you drive a golf cart 20, 25 miles per hour, even 30, and it seems fast. At close to 120, your life flashes before you. It's just
called the wall.
Totally different.
So again, it doesn't have a death wobble or shimmy on the big end? You got it down?
Surprisingly, whenever you put something that would generally have what we call a high-speed shimmy or shake, it generally does it on the deceleration. On the acceleration, what you're doing is you're putting everything in such a bind that it doesn't have time to actually wobble because it's trying to lift the front end off, so it's just skipping along. Now, when you let off on the other end is where you start getting your hands full with a high-speed shake, wobble, because everything's settling down and it's not under a load.
Well, how do you brake? I mean, because the brakes aren't designed to...
Yeah.
Right. Well, this particular car, it has four-wheel disc golf cart brakes. These brakes are manufactured by Jake's Lift Kits, and basically it's disc brakes that anybody can, put on a golf cart. A golf cart generally has drum brakes on the rear, but I put disc brakes on the rear, and then I got disc brakes on the front because I use a line lock to do a burnout. Stuff like
Nice.
that.
What about proportioning valve then? Do you set up like a car because you want?
No, mine is basically what I do is I've got a double acting master cylinder out of a car that I modify to go on it. That way, if I lose brakes on the front or the rear, I'm not totally out of brakes.
Well, you got the sand trap.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And so no, it doesn't have a proportionate valve per se. Is that? And surprisingly, the brakes work real good on it. And at Darlington, there's so much slowdown area that if you had an issue, it's not as bad. But that's why I like Darlington, because it's a really good track.
Well, what made you want to get into this? I mean, Was it just kind of tinkering around, or because I know as a gearhead, if you can make anything fast, it's cool. But I'd never really thought of a golf cart. But the electric movement's really strong right now. Other than sticking a T in the governor in a gas cart, I'd never really heard of anything like this. So what was your reasoning?
Well, our business is building high-performance DC motors for golf carts. That's our main business, and we've been doing this for roughly about 15 years. And for about 7 years, we've been drag racing golf carts. It started out as a way to test our products under extreme conditions and stuff like that. And then it led from that to, we set several NEDRA world records, which is the National Electric Drag Racing Association. And, of course, probably people listeners never heard of them, even though they are the record keeper for drag racing throughout the world, but it's just not widely known. So to get the best bang for the buck, we said, why don't we go for a Guinness World Record? And there was no Guinness record category for fastest golf cart. So in 2012, I petitioned them to open up a category. They agreed to do it, and then they give you the specs of what you got to go by. And so that's kind of how we got to this point. So basically, it's a promotional tool.
Well, to get to put a gasoline motor on a golf cart and go equally that fast, it would have to be a pretty big gas motor. But we all know how electric power is so instant. The torque curve's really linear. Do you think that this is the future as far as if drag racing is electric power?
Well, the thing about it is it's yes and no. With electric, it's hard to compare electric to gas, but with the right setup, electric is just phenomenal. The biggest thing in drag racing, a lot of people go for the noise and the smell.
Right.
And if you got an electric drag race going on, you're not going to get that.
Yeah, that's not much fun. But
if you're looking for something that has the shock factor, the wow factor, then electric drag racing is where it's at. So, but yes, in time, there's been world's fastest motorcycle, 201 miles an hour in a quarter mile. Don Garlitz is doing an electric dragster. They're trying to reach 200. I think they've gotten like 184 or 185. So over the past 4 to 5 years, it's been unbelievable what they've done in electric drag racing, and the biggest jump has been the batteries.
Now, you said your main business is selling the golf cart engines. Do you have any NASCAR drivers that happen to have bought any of your engines, or who usually buys these motors?
Well, majority, probably 90% of my business is over the internet. Ship all over the world. So I'm sure there's some NASCAR drivers that has probably purchased some motors through some of my dealers and stuff like that. But personally, I don't want to call any names I don't know for sure. But I would venture to say there probably is some out there.
Okay, what about gearing? Rear end.
Correct. That's the biggest thing that people do not understand when it comes to electric drag racing. You can have the high-dollar battery pack. You can have the high-dollar controller. You can have all this stuff, a motor that produces a lot of power. If you don't have the right gearing, you're either going to over-rev or under-rev. And the motor gets its maximum torque staying in at 5,000 or less RPM range.
So you do the math on that. So when I think of drag racing, I used to run a 457 gear in my Pro Street car, and then now because I made it just a show car, I put a 308 gear, and I love it. So I can't wrap my mind around electric versus so how.
Well, the main thing you have to look at with a gas car or dragster, you get up to the line, and naturally it's got to build so many RPMs to start developing horsepower and torque. So, they stage up, and as soon as they stage up, then you hear them rev up. They're trying to build up that horsepower and torque. With electric, you got maximum horsepower and torque from the very first RPM. And the big difference being with gasoline, you got to turn RPMs to get that torque and horsepower.
Right.
With electric, after you get past a certain RPM, your horsepower and torque just nosedives. So you got to kind of look at it in reverse of what you would look at with gas drag racing.
Okay.
And a lot of people that do electric car conversions, we've done several electric car conversions over the years. You can take the gasoline motor out, put an electric motor up to the transmission, and it will be good. It will be somewhat efficient, but you're still not going to be as efficient as if it's designed specifically for an electric motor, because your gearing and all is not proper.
Well, Robbie, as we wrap this up, if I came to you with an unlimited checkbook and said, build me another one of those that you have, what price tag would you set for me for a golf cart that goes 118 miles an hour?
Right. All right. Well, the biggest thing is, number one, I do a lot of motors, but I don't do any, per se, high-speed drag racing motors for people.
Okay.
Number one, it's liability-wise and all, and then also not only do I hold world records and stuff like that, I plan on defending them and setting more of them. But with that being said, you could easily spend on a cart like what I've got, and we do 99% in-house. You could easily drop probably $30,000-$40,000 in it.
Wow.
So yeah, it's not cheap. And,
Oh, boy.
and the old saying, how fast you want to go is how much money you want to spend. It works the same way with golf carts.
Absolutely.
I could only afford one golf club in that thing. Then I think
pick up a
driver and nothing else.
Yeah,
That's
second and
right.
a quarter mile is like drag racing. Probably
Well,
costs you
our
10 G's.
Main, one of our goals for 2015 is to break 130 miles an hour in a quarter mile.
Wow. Well, wear plenty of leather.
Oh, yeah.
If people want more information, Robbie, about what you do, is there a website or a Facebook page
Yes.
they can go to?
Yes, it's plumquick.com, Plumquick, plumquick.com, or Plum Quick Motors on Facebook. If you go to the plumquick.com website, then you'll see the links to Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. I have several YouTube videos up and all. So yeah, you can go there and get all the information.
Robbie, I told you this would be easy too, right?
Oh, yes, and you was right. You handled me with kid gloves.
There
There you go.
Robbie, thanks so much
Thanks,
for your time,
Robbie.
buddy.
All right, thank you. And, hey, I want to wish everybody a blessed Thanksgiving, and remember our troops in this time whenever they're away from home from their family.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Thank you, brother.
Robbie Steen with Plum Quick Motors. We'll pause and remind you this is Auto Smarts.